Hey guys, what's going on? So we got another random 75-degree day today. So I thought it'd be a good day to build something. I've been wanting to make one of these for a good while. I know you can buy them, I guess, I think. I'm gonna try my hand at building it because I like to build stuff that I use more than buying it. Especially since the stuff you buy usually is garbage. So I'm gonna try to build it kind of beefy-ish for what it is. I don't even know what it's called. I'm just gonna call it like an adjustable over the fire grill. It's one of these right here. So mine's gonna look similar to that probably. So let me show you what I'm working with. So as you can tell, it's definitely gonna be made out of scrap. For anybody that's watched any of my other videos, you saw me find this on a camping trip. So that'll be perfect. And then this appears to be, I don't know, appears to be, it's for sure an old bed frame. With some nice, like, I don't know what that is, 1.5 by inch, whatever. Another piece of bed frame. Piece of something similar to a bed frame. This is a handle off something, don't know. And then this piece of all thread. So it's going to be pretty much for free. Just got to build it. This is going to be my piece that sticks in the ground. So I'm thinking I'm going to sharpen the end. And then I'm thinking with the threads, what I can do is take this, cut a chunk off, slip it down on. I weld a nut, take a bolt. When I thread the bolt into the nut, it'll go through into these threads and kind of bite in. I could even play like ground a point on the bolt. That way it's good and adjustable, has something to bite to. That'll be the frame, this will be the cooking area. So yeah, that's the plan. It's not going to be anything like extravagant. It's mostly just going to be big enough for a skillet or to make coffee on. So yeah, that's my plan. So let's give this a shot. And it's definitely going to take twice as long as it should for no good reason. I should probably figure out some kind of measurements plan here. Okay, so I just want it to be big enough to hold a cast iron skillet. That's going to be as big of a skillet as I'm ever going to use. So just need one corner of that. That piece is long enough. Oh yeah, nice. So the skillet will definitely sit on that. Maybe even a little overhang. So what we're going to do is we'll mark that. Because that side's even. Clean that end off. We'll make this one to here. Come over there. Right between those. That should be plenty large enough. It's the smallest piece we need. Should be plenty of material here. Alright, so what we need to do is cut these pieces 11.25. Okay, so I thought about 45 of them, but not exactly the same size, so it's not really going to matter. But I think butted up edges will be just fine because all we're holding up is a skillet and a cast iron one at the heaviest, at the most. So we'll call that one good for here, right? What we might do is maybe go ahead and notch that out just to full weld out and around, maybe. Mark there. Mark there. side. Pretty sure I got my money's worth out of that wheel. Not much better, but want to use it up anyways. That's got holes in it and a piece of rebar, so I'm just going to clean this end off nice and straight. I think I'll be smart enough not to shoot flames. You'd think I'd be smart enough not to shoot sparks directly into my pants, catch myself on fire, but I'm not. I usually just measure this, but I'm too lazy. Plus, we're dealing with the grill grate here, so we can't fire grate. It's not like we're building anything too spectacular. So we'll call that right in there. Okay, yeah, not too bad. Yeah, that'll definitely fit in there. I mean, I could obviously make it huge and oversized, but I want it to be portable. And it's not like I'm going to try to be cooking with 2 skillets hanging off one post anyways. If I could get this hand to function, that'd be pretty neat. Originally I thought about notching these to where it kind of fit flat all the way around, but I don't really know that it's going to be super necessary. I guess I could. It would make this lay in there flatter. That's the frame. Stick something under here. Cutting right into the concrete. One last little piece, of course. Yep, I'm gonna do a little trimming. Down here looks pretty good. Can definitely weld all that. Up here, a little off. So I might just trim a rib right off there to bring this down a touch. See what I mean earlier, like it's laying up on this lip and it steps down a little there, so I might notch these ends just to get it to all set flat. That's better. We're touching here. And then we got a gap up here. $15.25. Okay. So all I had to do was trim a little bit off these pieces, and then I went ahead and trimmed a little sliver off the grating itself just to get it to kind of cinch in there. So it's pretty square, happy with that. So now I guess I'm going to notch out these corners to where this will be sitting all flat down together. And mark them where they're sitting. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is cut all that once, try to fit it back up. It's not going to be enough. Cut it one more time all the way around and it'll be close, but not quite. So then I'll do a third trim and my lines will be all wavy and terrible. Then I got to hide it with weld. Alright, see how that looks. See if it's as bad as I expect it to be anyways. Okay, so there is what I was trying to get at. Probably wouldn't explain it very well, but see how I notched that. So now I'll scoot that in. There, up here. Nice and flat. That way when I put my grate in here, I got it welded all the way around. It's sitting flat here and here, which I feel like will make it stronger. I'm not going to put like a brace in the middle. I mean, once it's all welded up, it's only going to be, you know, 11 inches. So. As you can see, I went ahead and pre-prepped all my corners so they're ready to weld. So then we'll tack it together, then put it on the vise, then weld that in. Alright, so now that it's pretty much tacked together, I'll try a few more and get it all kind of one piece. That should hold. I don't know. I told you guys before, I'm definitely not a welder, so you do not have to tell me I'm not one. Fully aware that this is going to look terrible. Well, welding right up by the door on a windy day was a terrible idea. Alright, so now that that's super hot, I'm going to put my fingers all over it. I think I got all sides on the outside, so I guess I'll give it a little bit on the inside of the corners. Alright, so now that that's real good and hot and ugly, we should probably figure out our stem, I don't know, what do you call it, stick, stem, post design. You can see here, this handle will fit right down over this, right? Snug enough to where that'll adjust. So this part shouldn't be too awful hard. So all I'm really going to do is cut that part off, sharpen an end to where it'll dig in the ground easy, and that's pretty much that. So that's all we're doing there, is just kind of cutting a wedge into it. Just kind of make a pointy on the end. So do one or two more of those. It's getting there. I'll do two more. So what I'm thinking here, since that hole's already there, I'm going to use that to come down. I'll probably have to stick in the ground that much. So I'm thinking height-wise it'll be fine. I think I might do is cut off enough of this to where I can weld my stem sticking off to this, and then also do a gusset from like here up, just to keep the weight from bending down on that. So I think I'm really only going to need like that much. Alright, so if anything I just said made any sense to you, this is kind of what I was getting at. I do that much, right? That leaves all that to slide down over that all thread. And then I can do a gusset from like out here back to there. So that way when I got weight on it, it'll be like this. That it's not bending down on it. I think that'll strengthen that up. So for this, I should only need that much, I think. Which this is all rough estimates, so I'm not exactly going to measure anything. I'm just going to do it and call it good. That's one terrible cut. Just have to figure out how exactly I want to mount this to this. Could be something like that. Make sure our hole is in the back. That way we can get our, what you want to call it, a set screw to bite into the all thread on. So I'm going to clean this up a little bit and figure out the best way to weld it to it. Alright, we got that leveled up. So I'm going to go ahead and weld it here, flip it, weld it there. Then do this a weld on this side now. So that very well may be strong enough just to hold it. But I don't know. Still fucking feel better if I did like a little gusset off the sides. But I'm also going to do a gusset from here to here. So I think I'm just going to put one more weld in there on each side and call that good. You guys will see it in action, so you're going to know if it breaks or not. Cast iron skillets aren't super light, but it should be alright. Yeah, it's definitely more of a big old fat weld in there, so I think that'll work. Oh yeah, plenty strong. Alright, so now the plan is that hole that was already there, stick that in there, weld that nut to that, right? That way, you know, they'll see up in there, but you can imagine I'll probably grind a little point on that. That way when this slips down over the all thread, that nut is welded to this pipe. I'll run this bolt in and out and it'll cinch it down, making it adjustable up and down. Alright, got that cleaned up, got the nut cleaned up. See if I can weld on here. Make sure it's kind of even. Yeah, that's definitely plenty of weld to hold a nut down. Doesn't look the best, but nothing does. Just kind of want it to function more than anything. So there you can see it's going to be completely adjustable. And when I'm ready, just tighten this down. Can't go anywhere. So now what I think I'm going to do is figure out my gusset that I'm going to run from here down to here to strengthen it up to where it's not trying to go down the front. Doesn't need to be much. I'll probably just have like a piece of rebar laying around I can use, I'm sure. Piece of rebar it is. It's a little thicker than I really need, but I think it'll work just fine. Kind of want to cut an angle on this so it sits flat. It doesn't need to be any longer than that. Cut a little angle on that. It's really hot, I shouldn't touch that. Alright, you can kind of see what I'm going for here. Just weld that around, nice little gusset. Alright, so that's pretty much what I was going for. I mean, that should be plenty strong enough for what I'm going to do. Right? It's super hot, so let's see if I can't burn myself. You can see my tube turned a little on me. It's alright, definitely still get to it. I think I might weld like a flat tab on this or something, that way I can just kind of turn it with my fingers instead of a tool. But I drive an older vehicle, so I always have tools on me, so it's really not a big deal to have to turn that with a crescent wrench or some kind of thing. Yeah, that's pretty much that. Yeah. I think we're ready to kind of test it out, maybe. All right, kind of got here in the backyard and do a little test. All right, so let's see what we can do here. The ground's pretty soft still. I made that pretty pointy. So I feel like it still should go in pretty easily. Come on, nice and easy. Kind of pretend it fires that high. Snug this down, nice and snug. The thing about it is you ain't gonna be able to tell on the camera, but it's kind of unlevel. I'm just gonna pull back on it, kind of level it up where you want it. Give it a couple more. Should do just fine. Get it loose. We're gonna clear the top if we want. In case we got a nice tall fire going. Snug it down. Nice and solid again. Skillet sits right on there. Probably going to mostly use with my small skillet that'll sit down in there anyways. That's a pretty decent sized cast iron. So yeah, I think it's going to work just fine. Yeah, that's pretty much that. I don't know if you could tell much by the sun, but it's not exactly setting, so you can tell that didn't take very long. I know some of you it's going to drive nuts because I know a lot of people are very OCD about measurements and making sure everything's perfect, and I'm kind of more along the lines of, if there's a gap, I can fill it, or if there's not enough of a gap, I'll grind it out a touch. I think I have, I don't know, that couldn't take him but an hour and a half maybe total, more grinding than anything. So yeah, so could I have bought it and saved all that time? Sure. If I bought a junky one off Amazon or somewhere else on the internet, would it also have been weak and probably broken or warped? Probably. I like to think mine's a little beefier than that, but I've never built one, so. But it'll get tested for sure. Not next video, but the video after that ish or so, you get to see it in action. We'll give it a good test and see what happens. The structure of it I think will be fine, maybe. The all thread, I don't know. It's all thread. It's not really known for strength, but it's only gonna have a few pounds on it. I really can't see how it's not gonna hold. If the set screw doesn't hold tight and it wants to slide down the shaft, like I said, I'll take that bolt out, grind a little point on that. That way when I tighten it down, it'll dig into the threads. And then it's got to hold in. I mean, but I think it'll be fine like it is, I'm going to guess. So yeah, like I said, I've been wanting to build one for a while, so figure why not do it. It's a nice day out, had the stuff laying around. I literally have nothing in that. So if you were thinking about building something yourself, give it a shot, because I did that with a small 110 welder, which they're, I don't know, I think it's like 500 bucks new. Not super cheap, but you can get Harbor Freight welders cheaper, probably do the same thing. Grinder with a couple cutoff wheels. Used the square of ice, did a lot of it on the floor. So I know for all you actual fabricators that was nothing and terrible to watch. But for people like me that doesn't really have a lot of tools and don't really want to spend the money on a bunch of tools you use once or twice a year, you can definitely build something usable with just a few tools on hand. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. So give it a like if you liked it. Maybe think about subscribing. Either way, thanks for watching. See you next time.